We're back at the sunny seaside of Croatia for the Dragon Trail round of the IGTL. GPS Raiden takes pole position then as we build up the tension. The lights come on. Lights out and away we go for the race here in Dragon Trail. A bit of wheel spin off the front row. Wittmann getting a decent start as well, shooting up as they head down into the first corner now. All 11 cars charging in through the field. Cars going about 3 wide, just in the background. The old scrap for position, charging down the inside. Who's going to break lace? Wittmann looks to a break. Realize contact. Wittmann's round. Wittmann's round. Raiden's round as well. He's on the gravel. Someone's been flung straight off. There's cars absolutely everywhere. Pure just chaos. It's an absolute pandemonium as everyone trying to find a way through, taking as least amount of damage as possible. Hubble Fraggins in the end, up into third place. Racer really capitalising on all that. Steak now in second. Fraggins is up into third. Fourth is Crazy Footer. What a start. I don't think anyone was anticipating that to happen. Raiden drops from pole to fifth. Robbo now got Wittmann on the back of him. Wittmann, I think, just had a brief bit of damage to the car. A lot of drivers would have had damage to the cars. Now then, as we survive our way through, there's the confirmation then that the first lap incident is under investigation. This is the first lap, so the only incident that we really had. So that incident at the first chicane will be under investigation. It concerned pretty much the entire field. Here we are then along the seaside section. We go into the bus stop chicane, a really tricky chicane. This you've got to get it absolutely right, absolutely every time. Squeakers leads Nils in, who's now down to 7th. Robbo is he's up to 8th, actually qualified right down at the back. Disappointing qualifying from him, but he's gained a couple of positions, could have gained more as we run on board with the Wittmann, the Atenza, the championship leader coming into this race as he comes around the final corner. Out the final corner we go, he's right up the straight. Now Robbo did get hit there last time we raced here in Dragon Trail Season 1, taken out on the first lap at the final corner by Luckman. Now it's the straight line speed battle between the Atenza and the FT1. The FT1, the Toyota, seems to just have some extra bit of engine power, just edges out against Wittmann. Either way though, you've got Nils who's just made the move on Squeakers. Robbo just allows the room for Wittmann, and that's cleanly as Robbo holds the position. Crazy all over the gravel. There's someone else is all over the gravel. It's Hobo Fraggins. Fraggins has gone off. He's gone off, coming through turn 4. That could prove disastrous. Wittmann goes down the inside into turn 5. He's made the move. Stick Wittmann on the inside now. A terrible run out of there, and Frosty's looking to capitalise on it. Down the inside as they head down the squibbly bit. There's a bit of contact, and Fraggins is facing sideways, and he's spinning across the track. That is not how you want to take that line, and that's disastrous for Fraggins, who got all the way up to 3rd, the American. It's very disappointing for him that he got all the way up into 3rd place at the start after an absolute chaos and pandemonium that happened at the start. It was a bit unfortunate really, and now he's all the way down at the back. But as the drivers start to organise themselves now, start to focus on moving forward, Nils gets very close to the back to the wall there, coming out of the bus stop chicane. Here comes Squeakers. Robbo getting all squirmy coming out of the chicane. That's not the line he wants. Mellon absolutely flies past him. These two were fighting for 7th in the championship last season. Now all of a sudden there are 2 different ends in the championship, with Porsche and the Toyota in the same car. They just seem miles apart from each other, to realise that they were fighting for position in the championship at the back end of last season. This is also the halfway mark as Nils tries to go around the outside into the first corner, around the outside of Squeakers. It's not enough at the moment, he's not quite made it. Decides to slow down under the brakes into the second corner. Nils just about makes it work. Squeakers tries to fly back, it's not enough. It's not enough at the moment. Nils, Squeakers, and then there's Crazy just up the road in front of them all. Who is Nils going to be able to catch up to the back? Crazy is going to want to. There's Wittmann down to 7th place from 4th on the grid. A bit disappointing. Definitely was involved in that incident. It's still under investigation. We will tell you as soon as we get a report from the stewards as to who was at fault, what the penalty will be and all that. So there's a bit of a train starting to emerge here with Crazy at the helm. It's a bit of a crazy train going on now. Nils looking all over the back of him. Squeaker drops a little bit back from the German. Nils actually looks to shape up a move on Crazy. It's not enough yet. As they head round, there's definitely a crazy train being formed from 4th down to 8th. That's a lot of cars, and Wittmann's in the wall. Wittmann in the wall. Curious to see what's happened there. I wonder if Vitamin G's just come round and spun it up a little bit and hit the wall. Who else was hitting the wall? Well, that was Nils and Squeakers sparking up as they danced between the barriers there. On board with Squeakers, heading into the final corner. We'll see if Nils is about to pull over to the inside. Yes, he does under braking. Does he brake lane? Oh, no, he doesn't. He backs out. Was too far back to do anything there. There is Melon and Robbo just in the background. In fact, I think that's Nils all over the back. He's going to try and get the exit. The M6, the German in the M6 versus that of the Evo, the Mitsubishi Evo. As they come down the outside goes Nils, trying to hold it around the outside of the first corner. It's a slight flick left, or right even. And so Nils tries to go down the inside. Has he made the move work? Yes, I think he has, but because it's a chicane, Crazy fights back. Squeakers follows Buttocks through, and now Squeakers is now up into 6th place. In fact, he stayed in 6th. He's not made it yet on Nils. This train is starting to get even closer. He's now most definitely a Crazy train, and Frosty goes down the inside of Squeakers. What a move! Pulled over to the inside and just held it under braking. Squeakers drops back to 7th. What is even going on? These cars are all so close together this early in the race. Nils and Crazy going side by side down the squibbly bit. Crazy just edges out Nils. It's not quite enough at the moment. Nils now tries to hold it around the outside as he does. There's 3 wide, almost 4 wide of being 5 wide. It's an absolute landmass of cars. Squeakers on the grass as they go 4 wide down the hill into the brakes. Just 5 cars. Not giving anybody room, not giving anyone a quarter or anything for that. What a landmass of cars, and Frosty's round. Frosty's been absolutely pushed round by Vitamin G and Squeakers. It looked like that was a tag team effect there as Frosty went absolutely round. Vitamin G tries to gain as much time as he can onto the back of Nils. It looks like it's worked. They pull over in the slipstream. Nils shows a gap to Vitamin G, but if he continues to go down there, he's going to might hit the back. He tries to go down the inside of Crazy's was the outside of Nils, and he's gone down the inside of Crazy. Around the outside of Nils. Does he hold it around the outside? Yes, he does. Just about for 4th place. Incredible racing from Vitamin G, the championship leader. He's driving like a championship leader, but it's not over yet in this slipstream. I believe it's that Crazy in the slipstream of Vitamin G. Nils going down the inside. No, he's not. They tuck into each other, start following each other down into turn 2 under the brakes, the first braking point on the lap. Meanwhile, whilst they're all battling away, so are these two running away at the front of Recita's all over the grass. He's hit Raiden into the barrier. Don't think there was any malicious intent in that. He sort of got onto the curb, spun it a little bit, and there goes Raiden. Just sort of clipped him as collateral, really. There wasn't much in that. Either way, as we join back to this train of cars, Vitamin G now moves into 3rd place. 4th, I believe, is, yep, Nils. 5th, Crazy. 6th place is Melon. Now Crazy's gone off the track there. He's sort of cut the corner, as has Squeakers. Both of them have cut the corner there. And around the outside he goes. Squeakers get into position. Crazy's just dropping back and dropping back. Frosty now sat behind BJ Robbo 28. Robbo, he's going to try and keep it behind, I'm sure about that. But how long Frosty will stay behind is slightly unaware. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Raiden still all over the back of Recite, still having a look for the move on Recite for the race lead against the final corner. You want to really capitalise and get a good exit out of here to get that move done. Raiden then follows Recite into the pit lane. This battle emerges to the pits. Subaru versus Attendo. Who's going to have the better pit stop? Vitamin G in the He comes around the final corner, looks like he's about to take the lead. Unless he pits in and Squeakers tries to go around the outside of Crazy. He goes to the outside. He's held it round the outside. And Squeakers is now into 6th with an outside move as everybody comes into the pits. Squeakers is going to lead an international GT League race. Crazy Buttocks is now in 3rd. 2nd, sorry, and BJ Robbo 28 doesn't pit in either. Crazy goes down the inside for the race lead. He's temporarily got it. Squeakers goes through him into the 2nd corner in what has probably been the most unlikely podium, or at least the unlikely top 3 we've ever seen in an GTL race, with Squeakers leading from Crazy and Robbo in 3rd. Granted, everyone has pitted in apart from these 3, but it's still something that they're in the top 3. The Recite then, he's ahead of Raiden still, as they rejoin out the pits. In fact, Stig is also ahead of Raiden. So Raiden has lost out a lot, but Stig's all over the grass, all over the curb. Managed to keep control, but that's a lot of time lost. Melon on the back of Vitamin G, who's getting a bit slidey coming out of the corner there. Now coming down the hill comes Melon. Nils, he's in P9, Frosty's in 10th, how far behind is he? He comes through turn down the hill and into turns 6 and 7. There's turn 7. There's Raiden as they head down the hill. Pulls over to the outside of the stick. Who's going to brake later of the two? I think Raiden's just in front. It's difficult to see who's going to brake later, but Stevie Rob had the inside line, but he cuts back. Raiden cuts back. Absolute perfection on the driving line, and Raiden takes P5 in this race. What a drive this has been from Raiden. What a move that was. Quite fantastic. Just the positioning of his car as he goes absolutely airborne over the curb there. So it was mainly just the positioning of the car there that sent him into 5th, as he just sort of cut back, got the better line, picked up the acceleration sooner, and there he goes now into 5th. Melon on the back of Vitman G. What's going to happen here? Nils, he's just behind Melon, still trying to follow Vitman G, needing to get a better exit out of this final corner. Robbo in, Crazy in, and Squeakers in. They're all into the pit lane as we can see the Toyota changing his tyres, and he's going to be getting in a splash of fuel. 7-point penalty for number 209. Causing a mass collision. That's an interesting wording, but that's Vitman G being given a 7-point penalty. So that will have been for the first lap incident that was under investigation. So this is on board with Vitman G. We'll just see why the stewards deemed him to be at the fault of all this. Let's go green here. A bit of wheel spin from Raiden. You can see the smoke lighting up off his tyres. Ray Sate, he didn't get the best of starts either. Vitman G did. Is he going to have a look down the inside? No, he doesn't. He shapes him up for a move down into the second corner. And there's contact. It looks to me like, and there's more contact and more. And just bump, bump, bump. It's just absolutely bumper cars at the fairgrounds, and that's problematic. I reckon with that, I think Vitman G just braked slightly too late. Or maybe not slightly, but just braked really late, and that's what ultimately caused the collision. This is now on board with Raiden, the pole position man with the helmet cam. We'll see everything from his steering wheel and how he responds to the collision afterwards. You can see him got a decent start. You can see on his in-car camera that he's actually doing quite well here. He's got a good start. He's leading into the second corner. And then there's the contact there. He gets pushed off onto the gravel. Does he get hit again? And then there's the bumper, because he actually gets sent round a bit there. There is all sorts of contact, and that's the Toyota, the orange Toyota. He's just sort of trying to creep past of Robbo, but he didn't in the end. So now this is on board a bit further back with Melon, the Austrian in the Porsche. So he's a bit further back here. He's in 7th place on the grid. You'll see Vitman G here, so we'll see how this responded. So a lot of wheel spin off the line from Melon. Frosty also didn't get the best start. There's Hobo Fraggins getting an immense start. He got all the way up from the back to 3rd after 3 corners really. And down the inside, where's Vitman G? There he is, you can see, sent it down the inside. You can really tell from that angle that Vitman G just braked way too late. It gets pushed around, and Melon facing the wrong way in the gravel trap at turn 3. This is the replay now, a bit further back even more. This is on board with Hobo Fraggins. He's starting right at the back in P10. Now he ended up in 3rd, so clearly something you can see the wheel spin coming off from Melon. Really not a good start. However, an incredible launch from the Corvette, as is what we've all come to expect. Stiggs, you see them all jostling for position, charging down towards his corner, and if you remember your minds back, actually there's the contact. Vitman G sends it down the inside, bit of contact, just pushes through. Really, realistically though, but Fraggins just made his own gap emerge. This is now the Toyota driver, the Brett, the Yorkshireman, BJ Robbo 28, the man who started dead last, so we'll just keep an eye on his start. So it wasn't the best launch. You can see the smoke there from Melon. You can see Hobo Fraggins launching up the field. So he's sitting back at the moment, and obviously at this point no one knows what's about to happen, but you can see everyone jostling for position, charging in towards the first couple of corners into the brakes. There's the contact just up the road, someone's been sent off. There's cars absolutely everywhere, there's no gap. Robbo tries to find a gap. You can just tell how slow he's going. He's actually still on the other side of the curb. Really, the positioning of the car didn't quite seem right there from Robbo. He could have possibly gained a lot more from that, and as he comes down the inside of 4, that gap was very closing, but Vitman G was going slow. I think he realised he might have been at fault for that. Now this is Resete, the front row. He started from P2. Now we know he didn't get the best of starts, and so there he goes. Raiden gets an absolutely flying start, shoots off in front, great launch, great initial launch in the second phase of the starts where he just starts to pull away, coming through turn 1 nicely. And then you're going to see Vitamin G charging down your left, so he's braking way too late. And Resete just slides through, minds that gap, and there he's into the lead. So as we rejoin back with the racing lane, Raiden has fought his way back up into second, with Resete still leading from that first lap incident. So Vitamin G was given a 7-point penalty for that incident. The stewards deemed him to be at fault of the mass collision, as it was worded, which basically means there was a collision which caused a lot of cars involved in that. And so that was that, and this is the man, Vitamin G, the championship leader as well, possibly title contender, as this is the halfway point of the season. We've had 3 different winners in the first 3 different races, and 3 different championship leaders, but that could all change. Vitamin G, he's going to want to get as high a position as he can to be able to get the points to counteract against the 7 points being deducted from him. As we join the helmet cam of Raiden heading into the final corner. So as he comes into the final corner, spots your braking point, perfectly need to start building up the accelerator, start accelerating away down the main straight. One of the key overtaking places is down this main straight. If you can get a good exit out the final corner, or a good overtaking spot is also the chicane. You can outbrake people there. However, on the first lap, when there's 11 cars going into the chicane together, braking late is not usually the best thing to do. So then Raiden then tries to accelerate away out the corner into second. He's still into second, heading into the 4th turn as he goes absolutely flying. Raiden's been sent absolutely airborne. He's been sent to space. Brilliant car control from Raiden to keep that still facing in the right direction. Crazy looks to have gone in there with a lot of speed, taking a lot of speed through that second corner. Honestly, it's all about opinion how you want to take some of these corners. You head downhill here. It's a more of an unorthodox overtaking spot here, but people have done it. There have been a couple of people that have made moves going down there. One of the better overtaking spots though is at the very bottom of the hill as you head into Seaside, the hairpin at the bottom. That is quite a good overtaking spot. You need the better straight line speed as you come down the back straight, and you just sort of get the exit, down the inside you go, and then you need a good run out of there as you head through this bus stop chicane. Real challenge, but again a good exit out of the bus stop chicane through the tunnel and into the final corner. You can make some overtakes there as well into final corner. You come around there, it's a good overtaking spot, another good overtaking. There's quite a few good overtaking spots that usually provide some good racing, good Dragon Trail. That's why we're here. Obviously the last time we were here was all the way back in Season 1, and I believe it was Luckman who took his first ever race victory en route to his Season 1 World Championship. It was his first ever victory as well in the International GT League, ending the streak that sort of emerged there from Kill 'Em All that season when he won the first 2 races back to back, and then Luckman managed to claim the title with 1 race left of the season. Raiden then still trying to catch up to Resete, still trying to catch up, but who will be our winner in Season 3? We weren't here in Season 2, and it feels glad to be back here in Croatia. And next week we go off to Europe. We stay in Europe, more inland Europe though, not the seasides, as we go from seasides to mountains as we head to Spielberg for the Red Bull Ring next. But that's next week, and here we are now. JPS Raiden all over the back of Resete, looking for a good run. Down the inside goes Raiden, does he? Not quite. He's more just is he gonna try positioning his car to get ahead, much like he did with Stig? He's gonna try it. Didn't quite work out there from him. Still staying behind him. Heads into the bus stop chicane. Now this isn't a place you can make an overtake, but the ones of the more brave can try it, and people have tried it, trust me. It's not always worked through the bus stop chicane, as you want to prioritise the exit speed here, as you want to try. Is he going to pull over to the inside? No, he's not. He's going to sit behind him, just wait. He's going to watch for where the cracks are, see if he can find a gap in Resete's driving to see if he can make a move, or he's going to not, and he's going to head into the pit lane. Raiden in the pits then. Resete continues out, Stig also in. We'll see if Raiden's possible of undercutting him Restate on his second pit stop. Restate goes on. Stig's in, Vitamin G also went in, here's Robbo right down at the back, Squeaker's just in front. So that gap between these two has really started coming down. However, we believe Squeaker's to be fuel saving at this point in the race, which I don't know if Robbo is. That is always a possibility, managing your fuel and where you will end up with your fuel. How are you going to manage it? You've got to be able to manage it in these races. Strategy can prove crucial. Crazy then rejoins just behind JPS Red, or should I say Red, and rejoins just ahead. Hopefully that's the good news for Red, and that he's rejoined in clean air, because you don't want to be held up behind drivers, particularly when you're fighting for the lead, and he now needs a fantastic outlap. When he's probably one of the quickest drivers in the league, and he needs a quick outlap so that he's able to get ahead of Restate when he pits in, which Restate will be probably pitting in possibly the end of this lap, which would mean hopefully if Redden does enough on the outlap. Steve V Rob going a bit out wide there at turn 5, remember that's where he got it slightly wrong a bit earlier. Melon's coming down the straight now as they head into these, down the squibbly bit, as they head down the hill, then back up the hill just to reach the summit of the squibblies, and then go back down the hill into the seaside hairpin. Underneath the Pirelli bridge and along the Pirelli siding. There goes Stigvy Rob accelerating away. Is he gonna? He's gonna try and get close. And remember, Stigvy Rob was in the championship hunt last season. He seems to be drifting away from title contention, because at this point last season, after the 4th race, he was starting to close the gap down to Brownie. And I think at some point he did. I think after Bathurst, which was the 5th race, he managed to open up that. Didn't just open up the gap, but he managed to take the championship lead and started opening up the gap all the way into the final race. So then JPS Red looks to have undercutted Resate, has he? Yes, he has. As JPS Red, there is Resate coming out the pit lane now. Resate down in 3rd place now, and crucially, JPS Raiden is in effect leading the race once Nilsman pits in for his 2nd stop, because I don't think a 1-stop is possible. Some drivers may be trying it, but I don't think they'll be going for it much. I think the 2-stop is the general consensus of the strategy here today. And at the moment, every driver looks to have done a 2-stop, or at least every driver has made a pit stop, 2nd pit stop, apart from a couple. I think it's just Crazy, Nilsman and Robbo who have not made a 2nd stop yet. Nilsman is leading the race because of it though, so that's good news for him. Resate is going to have it all to do. Now there's a bit of a train emerging with Robbo at the helm of this one this time, not Crazy, so it's not so much a crazy train. Vitamin G trying to catch up. Vitamin G obviously penalised and is the championship leader, and if he wants to go for the championship he's going to have to start doing well and maybe staying out of incidents. Incidents can cost you a lot here in this league, as you can get penalised and it can really hamper championship progress. So then Robbo tries to get the best exit, still trying to keep Stig, Melon and Vitamin G behind this close battle. 3 cars here, we're going to see who gets the best exit out of the chicane. You can see them all dancing between the barriers. Lovely work as they all manage to avoid hitting that wall. Robbo goes slightly defensive already. They all stick to the slipstream. Melon goes down the inside to Stig, give him a squeeze under braking. Yes, he does. He squeezes him onto the grass. Stig squeezes Melon onto the grass. That allows Vitamin G to just cruise himself around the outside of them both. And he's done him. Vitamin G has done a double overtake around the outside of the final corner. Now Melon's coming back at him. Porsche versus Atenza versus Mercedes. Who has the best straight line speed? The Atenza just about edges out in front. However, the Porsche still holds on to 4th place, but still, that was an amazing overtake from Vitamin G. Even if Stig squeezed Melon, as Melon goes onto the gravel, he's gone sideways, tries to control it, and he does. Nice control. But Vitamin G, that was a good overtake around the outside of 2 cars at the final corner. Even if Stig did close him down a bit and sort of squeeze him so that Melon didn't get the best entry into the corner, you have to be there to do that, and Vitamin G definitely was there, and that was incredible. And now that could be the move that gives him a spot on the podium. So then JPS Red now leads with a bit of a gap now to Resate, which is something which will be a breath of fresh air, despite with having Resate ahead of him for the majority of this race. Now Crazy rejoins ahead of BJ Robbo 28. Other way around, Robbo is ahead of Crazy now. Robbo tries to hold himself through and see as they come round. Now Robbo seems to have the better run through there. He seems to be quite quick going down there actually at this point on this final stint. Both have made their second stop. Malone now catching up to the back of Stig v Rob. Is he going to have another look down the inside into the final corner? He's not quite as close as he was last time when they were going 3 wide into the braking zone and Vitman G went around the outside. Here comes Malone looking a bit squirmy out the exit. He didn't get the best start, was in last at the end of the first lap. He's really come back to fight through as we head on to lap 13 of 15. We've not got long left. Malone squeezes down to the inside. Stig gives him a royal push all the way out to the grass. Malone doesn't back off though. He's not scared of that and does make the move. Fantastic racing from these two. Stig noticed something in this race. He's giving everyone a bit of a shove as he pushes them right out to the grass. There is Nilsman just in the background. If these two have a coming together, then Nilsman can come through to take 4th place. There is your reminder in the bottom corner to vote for your driver of the day in the comment section below and see who. Let us know who you think was your best performer of the Dragon Trail race. Either way though, Melon versus Stig v Rob are both fighting for it. Melon tries to come around he's still holding off Stig v Rob, but Stig v Rob looks to have gotten a good exit here. Stig v Rob shapes him up. Melon onto the white line, could not have gone any more further off. Stig v Rob tries to go around the outside. Does he try to do what Raiden did to him a couple laps ago? No, he doesn't. Doesn't quite get the exit coming out of the Seaside. Tries to have a look. Nilsman getting all sideways on the exit of the Seaside hairpin. Flying around through the chicane. Melon, Stig, Nilsman. As quick as you can say it. Melon, Stig, Nilsman. Flying past the cameras. Along the walls. Inch perfect. Now Nilsman's closer to Stig than Stig is to Melon. And Nilsman tries to go down the inside as Nils makes the move down the inside into the final corner. Fantastic. Under braking. Just capitalised on getting that speed out of the chicane to close up and make the move. Nilsman next up, and his target will be Melon. Can he get him in the final 2 laps of this race? It is incredibly close. It's not over yet until the fat lady sings, and as I keep saying, she's not even warmed up her vocal cords. Melon's then just about edges out Nilsman and Stig v Rob, 2 quick drivers that we've seen over the course of this race performing incredibly well. Stig staying on the back of Nilsman. Is he going to have a look into 4? Only the bravest of the brave try that. 5 is a good overtaking spot, but you need the exit out of 4 to shape them up really and make them look vulnerable going into the brakes on 5. Nilsman, he's not going to give anything as they go down the inside into turn 6. He's not quite tried it though. He's backed off a little bit. Austria versus Germany versus Britain. An interesting multicultural battle across Europe. Stig v Rob, Melon and Nilsman still very close to each other. Melon goes defensive down the inside. Nilsman's like, I don't need the inside, I'll try and go around the outside. It's not quite worked, there's a bit of a contact. Nilsman goes a bit sideways. Stig gets the better exit and Stig moves up into P5. But can he hold it for the chicane? Yes, he can. Nilsman backs out, possibly trying a move. He's going to try and do the same thing he did last lap to Stig as he gets the exit out, and it looks like he might. He's looking very close, and he is. He goes to the inside, doing a carbon copy of what he did to Stig on the last lap. Who brakes later? Nilsman or Stig? Under braking. Nilsman gets the inside line, and that's back into 5th place for Nilsman. Stig drops now down to 6th. Nils gets onto the grass a little as he comes right out wide, showing how much they're pushing, and that now leaves him vulnerable to Stig, who's going to try it around the outside. He pulls up to the outside as we head onto the final lap of this Dragon Trail race. It's been a phenomenal race so far, and Raiden and Racer Tay are very close all of a sudden. Racer Tay has been pushing and gotten that gap right down. We could have a last lap scrap for the win here at Dragon Trail. Who is it that is going to prevail? Who is going to become victorious here at Dragon? And who is going to conquer the Dragon today? It's incredibly close. It's not over yet as they fly down. Here they go then. He gets the slipstream. Might have even had a better exit. Is he going to try it down the inside? Yes, he does. He brakes slightly later. It's a bit of a dive bomb, but it's worked. It's a clean dive bomb from Racer Tay for the race lead from how far back? Phenomenal stuff from Racer Tay, and a rarity that that's a clean dive bomb. There was no contact. I think Raiden saw him coming in his mirrors, allowed him to have that gap. Now Raiden's going to be shaping him up for a move coming into the final corner. We sort of cut away. Melon still holds that against Nils and Stig, and just behind Stig is Extra Frosty, not too far back. Raiden goes down the inside into the final corner. Around the final corner, Racer tries to hold it around the outside. On the final corner of the final lap, is this it? Racer T gets the better exit, and your winner of the Dragon Trail race here in the IGTL is Racer T. Crosses the line to win the Dragon Trail race. JPS Raiden comes home in second, could have won, but some fantastic racing. Vitman G fourth. Nils gets the better exit, however, so no, he's not. Nils gets the run out of the final corner on the final corner of the final lap. Nils grabs P4, and that's fifth for Melon. Sixth for Stevie Rob, just edging out Extra Frosty. Very close. Squeakers, he's in 8th. Crazy, Robbo, sorry, 9th. Crazy's 10th. Hobo Fraggins 11th then. And now we can breathe, and that was an exciting race, and I hope you all enjoyed as we jet off to Austria for the Red Bull Ring race next. Subscribe for, obviously, as we jump off to the Red Bull Ring race next. So may I just remind you, comment down below who you believe will win Driver of the Day, who was your best performer of the race, and then obviously subscribe, because we are off to the Red Bull Ring, and if you've seen this racing and you do not want to miss any more of this after the drama and excitement of the race here in Croatia, jetting off to Austria is gonna be phenomenal, and you want to be there. We've got some close racing, and the championship looks to be blown wide open with Vitman G getting third on the podium. So an incredibly exciting race, and we'll hope to see you next time at the Red Bull Ring. But first, I leave you with your fastest lap, and yet it was JPS Raiden who took the fastest lap, going on to lap 7. I shall leave you with it, and enjoy. And so that was an incredible lap from JPS Raiden to come across the line to do a 1 minute 36.740. Your official confirmation there then, Red wins by a 10th over JPS Raiden. Vitman G rounds out the podium. JPS Raiden also grabbed the fastest lap at the end of the day on lap 7 with that 1:36.740. Hobo Fraggins unfortunately couldn't cross the line, so he doesn't really get a total time, and we'll time to see how this result affects the championship. Vitman G is now equal on points for Racer T, and 10 points back is Stigby Rob. Mass movements though from JPS Raiden as he moves up 3 positions to 5th in the championship into the next race, and we will see you there. Subscribe and enjoy.